Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome to this week's altcoin update. First and foremost, as usual, big shout out to Prime XBT for sponsoring today's stream. If you don't know who Prime are, then on Prime you can trade cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, stock indices. If you want to know more, use the link down in the description, and if you use our link and our codes, you can get up to a $7,000 deposit bonus, and you can also get 25% off trading fees. So yeah, thanks Prime. As usual, gang, everything discussed today is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my view of the market, and this is how I'm trading it. So guys, following on from last week. Last week we were looking at Atom, our Matic. Now nothing much has changed. Obviously we have had a bit of a pullback on Bitcoin, and Atom so far has not had the same sort of pullback, so we're waiting and seeing. But obviously last time we were talking, we either get a pump from where we were last week, which was around here. We either get a pump up to this value area high, roughly around $11.95 for easy numbers, or 12. In fact, let's call it $12 for easy numbers. And if not, then I'm looking to come back and retest this old range, which is a KSR level. Lose this range around, call it 750 for easy numbers. Lose that, then I'm looking back down to this EQ / this point of control. Okay, so dead straightforward. To the upside, value area high. To the downside, this old range high. Okay. The other one we were looking at the time was Matic. Let's throw this on log. And again, Matic's held up quite well. Is that a sign that it's a stronger shitcoin? We don't know. Let's wait and see. But again, like we were saying last week, we're either looking, if we got a pump here, then again, I'd be looking at this value area high and taking out these highs. So this will be coming up roughly around 144. And if that doesn't hold, then ultimately I'll be looking to come back down towards this point of control region here, which is around 37 cents, give or take. And obviously, if you're bullish long term, then ideally you don't want to lose this value area low. Otherwise, we've got all this to fill back in, and we'll end up somewhere down here. But again, just level to level now. Not uber bullish, not uber bearish. It's sideways, and looking at it, it's still playing the sideways range, where most of the other things have lost the range. So that's it. Right, we're going to have a look at 3 coins today, because there's been quite a few requests, and a fair few votes on those requests. So first and foremost, we're going to start off with Stinky Linky. So Link, where are we? Well, still going sideways in the local time frame. If we let's take this off log for the time being. So obviously, everything we're looking at here, we've got a new lower weekly closure. So the downtrend still continues. Monthly still should probably look the same. Yep, obviously we've still got another 8 days left of this month to see if this ends up closing lower as well, thus continuing the downtrend. And daily, it's again, Link's not doing too bad. It's still not lost its sideways range since May. We're still going sideways, so it's still range bound. It's still range bound. But anyway, let's come back out. Let's zoom out to, let's zoom out to the monthly, because we've got a lot of history with this. Let's throw it on log. So as usual, first things first, let's throw on a volume profile. This is quite interesting where the volume lands, because you'd expect the volume to be down here in the accumulation phase, but actually the volume, the bulk of it, is in this region here. Does that change if we zoom out to the weekly, out of interest? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's quite interesting. Right, so let's come off log and let's have a look where we are now. Right, well, first and foremost, let's start low time frame. So let's come down to the daily, and let's hide that for now. And let's take a look at this sideways range that we're still in. So quite simply, we take the low, we come across, and then let's come up to these highs, look more realistic, and we check this range out. So obviously we've got respect at the lows, we've got respect at the highs, and then the EQ is also getting respect. So that to me is a very good range. So let's throw a volume profile on this whole range, and there we go. Now what we can see here, what's just happening locally, is we've been bouncing on this value area low. We've just lost it a couple of weeks ago. In fact, no, this is daily time frame, isn't it? So we just lost this this weekend. Come back down. We've come back up. We've back tested it today, Now, is that a back test and then a further breakdown, or are we just going to hover around here and this is just going to be just one deviation back up into this value area and off? And by off, I mean continuing this range. Don't be a dumbass. All right, I'm not talking about new all-time highs. You know, new all-time highs for any stock or crypto or anything is a long way away, right? So stop thinking like that. Okay, so that'll be looking at. If this does hold and we get back into this value area, then first and foremost I'll be targeting this point of control, which is coming in around 719 for easy numbers. We've also got the EQ just above it, so it's something to be aware of. Obviously, you could end up getting a swing failure pattern of this point of control into the EQ, back down, and again, you've got another short trigger there. Above the point of control, you'll be looking at this value area high, which is roughly coming in around 780. And then if it manages to clear that, then obviously you've got quite a bit of volume, even though it's not within the value area, but we can see here from the volume profile, we've got some volume in this, and it's pretty obvious when you look at the candlestick chart. Okay? So obviously this is on a daily time frame. If we do end up getting a pump up to these regions, you'd be looking for shorts. If no reaction around here, then again you'd be looking then probably to take the highs. And just keep trading the range until it breaks. If price does end up getting up here, and you get no reaction, and it continues this uptrend, then you're trading up to your next levels, aren't you? It's as simple as that. Okay? So obviously that's to the upside. Now what happens to the downside? Well, to the downside, obviously we've got liquidity below this and below this because it was never taken on the second attempt. So we've still got liquidity just below this range. So similar to how Bitcoin was trading when we're given the updates, we had the June lows on Bitcoin. Similar to that, one point to note is we could, if it's going to continue being strong, you could potentially come down here, take out this liquidity, swing failure pattern, reclaim back in, and you'd want to see some strength here because obviously down here there's not a right lot else. So you'd want to see some strength. Get this back into the range, change of market structure, and then you've got a long trigger. And then again, you just continuing to play this range. You know, obviously you'd have a quite simple take profit there. You'd have a simple take profit there. Potentially take profit there, depending on if there's any reactions. And if you do get any higher, then you'd be trading it to up there. Okay? And that's if you saw this. Obviously, you could, you know, it doesn't have to be a swing failure pattern. It's just how I trade. Ideally, I'd want to see a swing failure pattern because I'd want to see these lows taken. But, you know, what you could end up just doing is retesting the lows again. But after 2 touches already, I'd want to see that in real time. Okay, I wouldn't just be setting limits down here and then, you know, putting a stop loss down here because this to me is just bad form of trading. If you're just doing this and then saying, okay, well, it could take that liquidity, then it's just not great trading in my eyes, isn't that? Because what if you get no reaction here? What if it does just blast straight through? And then what if you get no buy up here and it just continues down? Then you've lost out on a trade. Rather than just being patient and waiting for that come down and reclaim and back up, or being patient and seeing that there's a decent reaction here, market enter, yeah, you might not get the exact low, but you don't need to get the exact low. Because if this does happen, what you've got to think about it, you know, if price comes down and it gets a decent reaction here and you get a lot of buyers coming in, and we can tell that, by the way, by looking at the order flow charts. So obviously within the group we use XO charts. And if you want to learn how to do that, then we'll talk about that later in the video. But, you know, say that you get an average entry up here. Well, it's absolutely fine because your invalidation is then below that low. So then you get a better risk to reward. Okay? It's just about being patient. Don't just set limits and, you know, hope for the best. Right, next. What if these range lows don't hold? You know, let's look at the very bearish option. Let's get this back out here. And let's get the fixed range back on. Well, it's fairly simple. And I'm pretty sure you can see this yourself. It's not that difficult to see. But obviously we've got a range just here. So if you exit this range, get acceptance back into this range, and we can see here, you know, we've got decent volume. You know, we've got a very thin gap here, which is around this line, the top of this old range, which is pretty obvious. You know, if you get acceptance back into this, then all you're doing is you're trading this range. Quite simply. You know, we've got a high volume node here, exactly where the arrow is right now. You've got a high volume node there, something to be aware of. If that doesn't hold, then you'd be looking back down towards this EQ / this point of control. This point of control to me would be key. Because what you've got there, we're on the monthly chart here, so we've got a fresh monthly SR level down here. Within all this consolidation, you've got the point of control there, which is on that monthly SR level. So that to me would be, you know, a very, very interesting area, shall we say. And this is coming in what? That's around 232 for easy numbers. Okay, lose that, looking at the range lows. Lose that, then you're just joining into this. Okay, it's just level to level, because that's the environment that we're in right now. Okay, as it stands, we're still in this range. So don't think that I'm being uber bearish or uber bullish, because we're still in this range. We've not lost this range yet. This is if this range lost, then we trade this. If this range is lost, then we trade that. If this range broken out to the upside, then we trade the next part, which is pretty obvious looking at this chart, because obviously you've got your value area high there around 17.25. Okay, it's not difficult, it's just level to level. When we're back into up only mode, you know, things become easier. You know, you just long and forget. Well, you don't, but there's a lot more to it than that, but you know what I mean. Okay, so that's Stinky Linky. So locally, we're still in this range. Nothing's changed. We get a bounce, value area low, point of control. If we come back down, range lows, either swing failure pattern or a decent reaction, and that's it. Okay? That's Link. Next, Mana. Mana? Is that how we say it? Mana? Yeah, whatever. Right, so we'll look at this. Oh, that's a sexy monthly candle, isn't it? 46% down this month so far. Wow. Right. Let's take a look. So first and foremost, as usual, let's find out where all the volume is. In fact, I might come out to the weekly chart on this one. There we go. Weekly chart. Okay, so obviously we can see all the accumulation volume, and we can see that there's naff all volume in this area here, because obviously it's not even showing apart from this bottom bit here, you know. So that's what we're looking at here. Now if we want to do this even better, let's do this back to where it broke out, and there we go. So let's all then throw it on a separate one for this top area, and there we go. Okay, so we can see we've got two pretty obvious value areas within this. Okay, right now where price is hovering, we're testing this wick here. Is that a strong wick? Who knows. So what I'll be looking at with this right now is let's zoom in. In fact, actually, I might have to leave this one on log. So first and foremost, is this a deviation of this value area? Because now we've taken out the liquidity of this. Is this a deviation to get back into this value area, and then you've got a long? Again, similar to what we were just talking about on Link, I'd want to see some strength if I were looking for longs here. I'd want to see some strength. Right now, this is just down. There's no strength here. This is on the weekly, the daily. There's no strength. No strength at all. Okay? So that's what I want to see first. Come down here, see the swing failure pattern, reclaim back into this, change of market structure, then we're off. And then I'll be targeting these highs, followed by point of control, followed by the value area high. Okay? Nothing complex. That's what I'll be looking at with this. Okay? These would be key for me. If you don't get a reaction here and it doesn't get a significant pullback, then looking up at this point of control / these highs here just above it. Okay? No significant reaction there, no major pullback, value area high. Obviously that's to the upside. What happens to the downside? Well, to the downside, first and foremost, we have got a cluster here. You know, some might call it an order block, you know, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, we're looking on the weekly here, so we have got a sideways range here. So, something to be aware of is you could get a reaction within here. Okay? Price could come down, new range, bit of accumulation, and maybe off then. But again, I'm not saying new all-time highs. I'm just saying that could potentially be the range, but we don't know until it happens. All right? So that's first and foremost. If this holds, then you've potentially got a new range to trade, with this being your range high, this being your range low. Okay? If that doesn't hold, then I'd be looking to come back down. Let's get this on the monthly. Yeah. If that doesn't hold, then I'd be looking back down, probably to come back down to this consolidation here before the overall breakout. Okay, which lines up with this value area high, which is coming in roughly around 9.8 cents. If this cluster doesn't hold, then I'll be looking back down at this point of control. Okay, simple level to level. You know, some might think that's really bearish, but the only reason why you're going to think that's really bearish is if you've bought up here and you're still holding it. You know, if you bought up here and you're still holding it, then I'm sorry, but you need to learn how to trade properly. Okay, it might sound brutal, but it's the honest truth. The honest truth. The only reason why you're buying up here is because you're getting caught up in all the FOMO. You know, but realistically, you got to see how much this has pumped since the lows. You know, this is 50,000%. Why would you be buying after a 50,000% pump? You know, and the rest of the market's pulling back. So yeah, okay. So lose these current lows. I'll be looking down at this consolidation here if this consolidation doesn't hold. Okay, simple level to level. Finally, XRP. I seriously do not understand why anyone's obsessed with this shitcoin. I really do. It's got more narratives than any other stock or crypto out there. Right, XRP. Oh, look at this. It didn't make a new high this cycle, and yet most other things did. Ultimate shitcoin. The only reason why anyone holds on to this coin is because there's still people banging the drums about it for some stupid reason. Anyway, we trade level to level. Well, look at this. Magic. We're bouncing off the point of control again. Because it's range bound. It's just one big ranging coin. Now, obviously, everyone up here, I remember at the time, obviously, the narrative were going crazy. Everyone was going, oh, like, XRP's pumping, everything else is down, XRP's pumping. Well, yeah, it's because what you get in the market, you know, you get leading coins and you get lagging coins. So everything else had its pump, XRP had not had its pump. XRP then had its pump after everything else had finished its pump, and then it plays catch up with everything else. And look, it just comes back down, it's still in the same range as everything else is. Okay? So, I'm not going to break this down into a real technical chart because it's kind of pointless. It's pretty obvious what you can see here. We're bouncing off the point of control. If this point of control high holds, then you're targeting back up into this cluster. If this cluster doesn't give a reaction and it carries on going, then I'll be looking up at this value area high, which is roughly around 69 cents. Nice number. Okay? If it gets a reaction there, then you're just trading it back down. If it gets no reaction there, then I'll be looking to take out these highs. Okay? That's to the upside. To the downside, it just continues ranging. So, lose this point of control. First and foremost, you could be looking for a swing failure pattern with a point of control. Okay, take out this liquidity here. Want to see some strength to get back in. And obviously then you're coming into this consolidation here, which we can see, you know, we do have significant volume. That's all XRP is. If it gets no reaction in this, then ultimately I'm looking back down at this value area low, which will be coming in around 17.5 cents. Okay? Which comes in, that's in line with what, the December 2020. Put my teeth back in. Yeah, it's just range bound. It's just range bound. Let's have a look at it on the monthly, see if it gives us anything different. You know, we can see we've got a fresh monthly SR level down here, which is coming in around 21, 22 cents. Yeah, ultimately that's what I'll be looking for. You know, you lose this point of control, and if you get no reactions here, no bounce on the way down, then yeah, I'm targeting down there. Okay, so that's XRP. Fairly simple, level to level. You know, you just range bound. You're tied up in, to be fair, a great ranging environment. You know, everyone's holding on to this, looking for a breakout, all new all-time highs, and with crazy, ridiculous price targets. But realistically, it's just going sideways. And probably weaker sideways because it never created a new all-time high like everything else did. Okay, simple, level to level. Right, that's that. Okay, guys, so quick update. We have a sale going on right now on our website. Up to, well, it's not up to, it is 20% off. 20% off all our pricing plans. Obviously, if you want to read this point, pause the video right now, have a quick read. And obviously, if you head on over to our website and use code Black Friday 20, then you get that 20% off. Now, the offer's valid until this Friday. And obviously, if you do end up on our website, then you have access to all of our content, all our educational content. You know, there's well over 60 hours of content now, covering everything from absolute beginners through to Fibonacci, volumes, patterns, order flow, you know, entering trades, managing trades, Elliott Wave series, all our chat and chill. We're going to do a new chat and chill stream tonight, which is where we take an in-depth look at Bitcoin, and I mark out my areas of interest for potential swing trades and day trades. Obviously, you got all the cheat sheets, you got everything. And as of next week, we'll be starting the new modules covering trading psychology. So yeah, if you want to check that out, then make sure you take us up on that offer. If you are going to join us. If not, on our website, you have got links to our free Discord as well, so you get access to our free Discord where we share a few ideas and there's a few hints and tips, and there's a lot of traders in there having a good discussion, and it's also a damn good laugh. Best community in crypto by far. Okay, thanks once again for Prime XBT for sponsoring today's stream. Again, if you want to check them out, links down below, and let us know in the comments what altcoins you want covering next week. All right, guys, as you were. Bye-bye.